I get to hear many a time from people I am eating just like you told me to do. Lots of grains, beans, fruits and vegetables, nothing fatty or sugary. Now you are recommending supplements too. If Mother Nature felt I needed extra nutrients, would she not have put them in my food? It's a perfectly valid question and one which you may have wondered about at one time or another. In many ways, supplements are to humans what fertilizer is to plants. Give plants adequate amounts of sunlight and water, and it will survive. Add some nutrient rich organic fertilizer, and the plant will thrive. For us humans, the same principle applies. A healthful, balanced diet supplies the body with sufficient nutrients to carry out routine tasks. Supplements such as vitamins, minerals, essential fatty acids, and phytochemicals enrich the body's internal environment to fortify cellular protection, repair, and regeneration and support the renewal process. But how did our ancestors survive without supplements? You see, Mother Nature has never cared about optimum health, nor has she concerned herself with longevity. Her main objective is survival and propagation of the species. So, she programmed us humans to survive on even the crummiest diet, nutrition wise, into our 20s, when we are old enough to reproduce. Beyond that age, we are on our own. Over thousands of years, one generation has passed its survival genes on to the next. So, thanks to our ancestors, we are equipped to subsist on minuscule amounts of the essential nutrients just in case a famine comes along. But as said before, this insurance policy remains effective only into our 20s, just long enough for us to reproduce. It includes no provision for aging. By the time we reach our 20s, we have established lifelong eating habits. And because our survival genes have protected us from the adverse effects of our dietary transgressions, we have no reason to believe that what we are eating, or for that matter not eating, is doing us any harm. So we continue feeding ourselves nutritionally vacant junk foods, unaware that they are quietly eroding our health. Often, we do not see the effects for several decades. The point here is this: even with a lousy diet, we can remain fairly healthy through our first 30 to 40 years of life. But if you want to achieve optimum health and maximum lifespan, the nutritional bare bones just will not cut it. We need to eat nutritious foods and we need to take supplements. Initially, the body hints of a nutrient shortfall with any of a hodgepodge of minor symptoms: fatigue, weakness, insomnia, irritability, nervousness, depression, poor concentration, memory losses, aches and pains, recurrent infections, allergies, circulatory problems, and just not feeling good. These are the vague symptoms that drive patients to doctors and drive doctors up a diagnostic tree. Because most conventionally trained physicians have little education or experience in nutrition, they are unable to make the connection between a patient's complaint and a nutrient deficiency. Then when the test results come back normal, as they usually do in such cases, the symptoms tend to be dismissed as all in your head, or even worse, as a natural part of aging. Treatment offered usually bypass nutritional supplements in favor of drugs such as anti-inflammatories, antidepressants, tranquilizers, and the like. They not only mask the symptoms but also deplete nutrient stores even further. This accelerates the degenerative process, which is the forerunner of disease and aging. Ultimately, nutrient deficiency deprives us of years of life. The average adult survives only into his 70s, or if he is lucky, his 80s. Yes, there is always someone who beats these odds and lives to a ripe old age, a 100-year-old who eats nothing but junk food, swigs coffee all morning, and downs a shot of whiskey before bed. smokes 2 packs of cigarettes a day, and has never swallowed a single multivitamin. The fact that few of such people live as long as they want to be are truly remarkable. Unfortunately, they give us the rest of us an opportunity to rationalize our own eating habits and lifestyles. I feel healthy, so it will not happen to me. I'm too young to worry about my health right now. This is one of the greatest medical myths, and we have heard the above statement quite often. Please do not get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with feeling healthy. However, feeling healthy and actually being healthy may be two very different things. We have heard about some of the greatest athletes who look to be in the peak of their health and drop down dead. We Indians are indeed fortunate that one of our greatest cricketers, Yuvraj Singh, won his fight with cancer. What about the pretty Bollywood actress Manisha Koirala? They both had the resources to fight it out. We know very well that if the critical illness like cancer does strike, an ordinary man will be ruined financially on his way to a surely death. Have you ever thought about the fact that people degenerate over time and may not be aware of several health issues? It is unfortunate that we are now seeing many teenagers coming up with illnesses earlier and at a higher rate than ever. Here are some important statistics to recognize when talking about age and health. All degenerative diseases are on the rise. Disease is regularly occurring at younger ages. Infants and children are contracting catastrophic illnesses at increasing rates. About 50 years ago, there were no pediatric oncologists, that is, children's cancer specialists, because there were no need. The reality is that our bodies are very forgiving and adapt to so many stresses. Yet, sometimes there is no warning before sudden death or critical illness. Since you are still with me, I am sure that you must be convinced by now that people will die prematurely from diseases caused by or compounded by deficiencies of food supplements. Would you let your car go 50,000 kilometers without an oil change? Of course not. So please do not do the same thing to your body, whatever may be your age, by not providing it with essential nutrients so vital for us. It is amazing that supplementation still generates as much controversy as it does. Detractors often charge that supplements do nothing more than create expensive urine. Everyone will die, but how you look and feel for the last 20 to 50 years depends on your lifestyle and intake of antioxidants and food supplements throughout your entire life. When it comes to planning careers, vacations and taxes, we have no problem seeking out to a qualified professional to help meet our goals. Why should something as important as our diet and supplements be any different? Changing your diet and adding quality supplements for your daily intake should not be an inconvenience. Simple minor changes and an overall awareness of better health is all it takes. You can do it. There is no other investment in this world that pays higher dividends than that. Take that leap towards a healthy living today. Prevention always costs more upfront, and I can help you build a proportional line of defense against unnecessary sickness. This will eventually render the high cost of treatment irrelevant. Contact me through any of the links given in the description box. See you soon with another episode of Wellness and Wellbeing. Stay safe and God bless.